it's so crazy when I think about somebody like Frank Miller kind of bringing this style over to the States and introducing so many people to these amazing, just brilliant European artists, and rubbing it in your face, showing you like, man, you are missing all this great stuff, and then trying to find it must be impossible. But now, thanks to Humanoids, they are reprinting it. Today we're going to take a look at just an amazing artist. I know I say that a lot about so many artists on this channel, but man, Caza really is just that brilliant, just that amazing. Kind of a little, kind of unknown, you know, among the French European artists. You know, Mobius was the Beatles, and Drouillet is the Stones, and Caza's probably like the Kinks or something like that. But man, I love Caza. He does so many interesting things, so many outworldish things, kind of just like Mobius and Drouillet, bringing film-like quality stuff, out of this world stuff, and putting it on a two-dimensional plane, blowing your friggin' mind. Just a brilliant artist. I just picked this up. Unfortunately, Caza's stuff is quite difficult to get here in the States. I know Humanoids just put out a big book of his. I forget the name of it. I actually own it, and I forget the name of it. But this is, I guess, his more unknown stuff, or stuff that just isn't printed in the States for whatever reason. But this is a brand new release from Humanoids in Europe. I guess it's a reprint of a book I don't know anything about. I don't know the story because I don't speak French, or read French, but it's Caza. I don't need to be able to read it. I need to be able to look at it and have my mind absolutely blown. So let's take a look at this book, and man, I love that cover, by the way. Another guy who really experiments with interesting colors, very psychedelic feel, very loose in his drawing technique, but man, just beautiful, beautiful stuff. And of course, we start out with this amazing opening here. And again, right now, we're looking at beautiful color, beautiful hatch work, just great stuff, or contour work. And you open it up here, beautiful panel choices. I love these panels. And you get this middle panel right here, and then of course we're gonna go off into this crazy sci-fi world that so many European artists love to take us into. They have some kind of obsession with sci-fi, but man, sci-fi is super cool. And mixing that sci-fi fantasy, I absolutely adore it. And of course, we can tell, very similar to Mobius, but you know, yeah, I love the amount of lines he's putting on this character's face here. I just love the technique. The figure drawing's beautiful. Great compositions. Again, kind of doing that very similar Mobius thing where you're just taking the page and you are making this world in which we live in seem so huge. And it's just amazing what these guys could do with a 2D plane and just pen, paper, and some color. I don't know what he's coloring with here. I'm not even gonna guess because I don't know color theory. It could be dyes, it could be, I don't know. I have no idea. But again, beautiful storytelling here. Great composition, great panel choices, you know, just beautiful stuff. Really, really great stuff. Great architecture. I love the use of line here. It's one of the things about European artists. They love to use a lot of hatching lines to get a great detail. Kind of like a Bernie Wrightson thing. I'm sure Bernie Wrightson was probably a fan of European comics. And I'm sure European artists were probably a fan of Bernie Wrightson. That's the only thing I can do is connect American artists with European artists and hope that they have some kind of, because I'm sure they're looking at each other's work. I'm not sure about the release of this, probably in the 70s. I'm guessing probably mid to late 70s this stuff was coming out. I love putting all these characters on this panel here. So much going on here. I'd love to see the originals of this stuff, kind of the black and white, without the color, to really drink in just the amazing craftsmanship of such a brilliant artist from the ground up. I would love to see the pencil work. Beautiful. Just mind-blowing stuff. I mean, this is stuff that I said this about Mobius, but I say this about every European artist, because European artists are so great. French artists are so great. They just do stuff that's just so different than what we see here. And it's like they were, were they reinventing the wheel? I don't know. It seems like that. But, man. And I love how these characters are falling into the water there. Or sludge, whatever it is. I don't know if this is a bunch of short stories. I'm assuming it is. But, yeah. Again, just more beautiful panel choices for storytelling. I love it when an artist can take 2 panels and tell you, you know, so much within those 2 panels. And you're getting this crazy psychedelic stuff that a lot of European artists were, I'm assuming they were dabbling in psychedelics. I mean, how do you come up with this insane stuff? Great figure work here. Great shadow and light usage. I mean, you're getting that, you know, I mean, this is your light source here. Getting that lit up. You're getting that side of the body lit up. Darkness. I mean, it's just great stuff, really, when an artist can use light and shadow so beautifully. Again, I cannot stress the amount of detail that's going in and hard work that's going into these pages. I mean, it's an insanity, a level of insanity. I don't know how long it took these artists to do these pages. I always say that in every single video when I see these amazing artists who are just doing so much detail in their work, but it's just like, for somebody who draws and somebody who creates themselves, it's just this insane amount of work on the page. And you have to assume that it takes them so much time. Like, are these guys doing, you know, a page of comics every week? Are they doing a page of comics every month? I don't know. But, yeah. Just, man, look at that panel there. Look at that shadow in the background. It's just simple one-point perspective, but it's beautiful stuff. Great stuff. Really. Great panel here. Again, great storytelling. Just beautiful. Again, this character in this massive world being so small. I really admire when an artist can do that beautifully. And I'm imagining that you're living in a world where you have Mobius, you have Juliet, you have Corbin, you know, even though he's an American artist, but the Europeans kind of stole him from us, which I'm fine with. And you're looking at that stuff and it's just, wow. You're probably like, I have to keep up with that. I love that solidness of that nose there, kind of that rocky feeling to the skin, kind of like Jack Kirby doing The Thing. Man, color is another thing that just, again, it just pops. The color is just so good. Man, Humanoids did such a great job reprinting all this stuff because everything just pops right off of the page. Brilliant stuff. I'm trying to show you the full page if I can. It's quite difficult when you have a book. By the way, massive books. You're seeing this stuff at such a large, in such a massive way that, like, you wouldn't see it in the kind of a heavy metal issue of heavy metal. You're seeing at this large size, which is really brings the artwork out beautifully. There's also like a very animated style to their work, you know, as they're kind of moving through the panels. It all makes sense, and you're just getting this beautiful, again, just brilliant storytelling. What the fuck is going on? I have no idea, but Caza knows, and I'm sure the people reading it know, who can, but maybe they're confused as well. They're probably like, what the fuck? But we're here for the art, we're not here for the story. Man. It's so crazy when I think about somebody like Frank Miller kind of bringing this style over to the States and introducing so many people to these amazing, just brilliant European artists, and just kind of rubbing it in your face, showing you like, man, you are missing all this great stuff, and then trying to find it must be impossible. But now, thanks to Humanoids, they are reprinting it. Unfortunately, you have to get it from Amazon France or Amazon UK store, which is kind of a bummer, but hopefully we can get this stuff here in the States. I would back it again 100%. If Humanoids puts up a Kickstarter for this, I will back this all day, every day, for sure. Cool, like, fucking bug people. You always have these absurd green-skinned human beings and these weird bug people. Again, psychedelics. And then, of course, Frank Miller stole this when Superman fucks Wonder Woman in the sky in Dark Knight Returns or Dark Knight 2 or whatever the fuck. Well, come on, he's got to be reading this European stuff because it's two people fucking in the sky. I mean, I'm sure, was that done before? I don't know. But I'm sure this predates Miller's, where I'm certain that it predates Miller's stuff. Again, you get these amazing, like, just right in front of you, like, faces with so much detail, and you like, you see these characters so close up so that, like, you're invested in who they are and just kind of getting to know them personally, even through just, like, very simple close-up shots, so much detail. Characters don't look the same. I mean, you even have these characters who he could have very easily made them look the same. He made their heads different shapes, added different textures, just little details like that. Massive stuff. Beautiful structures here all over the place. Nothing really makes sense. Nothing is kind of what we see, that we know of. And, you know, it's all kind of chaotic. Just such creative stuff, really. And then, of course, we have this dude who is headless, jacked as shit. Great anatomy, by the way. I must point that out. Anytime anybody can do brilliant anatomy, I'm sold. Anatomy's so difficult. It takes a lifetime of practice, and we just have this beautiful, beautiful anatomy, and all of it is correct. Kind of reminds me of like a Bern Hogarth, perhaps, kind of style. A little bit more muscle than there are bones. A little bit bubbly, but I like that kind of I like that kind of anatomy. I think it's very interesting. You don't want things to look exactly like they're supposed to, but you want them to kind of communicate to you that you are, I mean, you want it to look like a human body, right? You want it to communicate as a human body, but you want to get into some very stylized stuff. I definitely could see some Bern Hogarth there. Not sure if he's looking at Bern Hogarth. Can't say for sure, but beautiful stuff. Love it. Man, the color, again, and the detail. Like, even it's crazy stuff going on in the smoke there. Beautiful stuff. Really, really great. And, yeah. Man, love that anatomy again. Amazing clavicles there. Going in the trapezius, like that beautiful shape. That's kind of like a mouth or something like that. You have those beautiful traps going back there, and then the collarbone connecting, and then you got that squareness of that shoulder as the deltoid is coming out. Man, beautiful stuff. Love how he kind of has that action figure like connector of the leg to the back of the leg. That's like a Bridgman connection. We're talking a little bit about anatomy, but I do love creative anatomy. Man, love that panel. That is a beautiful panel there. Not doing the Rob Liefeld thing where they have way too many fucking teeth. He has a normal amount of teeth, which I can dig. And she like takes his eyeball, and some weird, bizarre shit. But and then we got some alien people who are buff as shit, and man, it's so cool stuff. I mean, you're getting this beautiful, like, very cyberpunk. I mean, somebody like William Gibson had to have known that stuff like this exists, because it's kind of how he explains things in Neuromancer, if you've ever read Neuromancer, which is a great book. But this stuff really kind of makes the mind just really go off into this crazy world, this crazy sci-fi world, and it inspires so many people. And it's like, where does this stuff come from? Where do these guys come up with this stuff? Man, look at that. Look at that right there. That is beautiful. Wow. Great waves even, and just, again, beautiful forms going on there. Not very cubic, just, well, they're like just very bizarre forms and choices of structures to buildings. And look at that. So great. So great. If you are not familiar with this kind of stuff, you really should check this stuff out if you can. I would not advise buying it from Amazon France, though, because I will say I ordered this and they put it in just like a regular box that was like opened on both sides. Luckily, it wasn't just completely destroyed, but I'm just be wary with caution about buying it. I will put a link below where you can pick this up. The shipping's a bit expensive too. You're probably going to be paying about what the price of the book is for shipping. But if you need Caza that bad, man, if you need these humanoids releases that bad, I definitely would advise you should definitely pick them up. I want to own as much Caza and Mobius as I possibly can. Juliet, all those European artists, I want to own them. So yeah. Again, beautiful work going here. Kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you guys ever played that game Deus Ex, but it looks like the cover of Deus Ex. I believe that's the name of the game. And it wouldn't shock me if the art direction was stolen from Caza in some way, because I mean the guy's so brilliant. Beautiful stuff going on in the clouds here and the textures and the waves. I love how you get this 1-point perspective, 2-point perspective, 3-point perspective. You get these doors opening up, so cinematic, so like Stanley Kubrick level of stuff. And yeah, wow, just marvelous, beautiful stuff, great colors, so creative, people made of eyeballs, you know. Yeah, I mean, you gotta have the dick shot. Every European comic has it. Man. Wow. There was something in the water over there in France, and it's not there anymore because I feel like we don't get comic books like this anymore. Yeah, I mean, this is close to as getting a movie on a page as possible, and it is just wow. That's all I can say is wow, 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 because it's brilliant. I have no fucking idea what's going on. I love this anatomy here. Oh, such cool anatomy. I love it. Very beautiful stuff. Very angular. Very thin, you know. But yeah, and then we finish here with some bizarre shit. Yeah. And we get some extras in the back, which I don't know what any of it says. And you get some sketches here, so you do get some black and white work here. I'm assuming with some ink, it already being inked and everything, so we're not getting to see. Beautiful, by the way. Love that right there. Beautiful. And there's the end. But man, I love that back cover there. This is so cool. I'm gonna put a link below. Hopefully you guys can see it really well. Trying to get it out to you guys the best possible way I can, because I want you to see this as high definition as you possibly can. I can't upload 4K videos anymore because they take like 9 hours of video, so I'm not doing that anymore. I'm doing it in a 1440p. I do apologize, but it's just so difficult to get it in 4K. But man, that's Caza. Fucking great artist in heavy metal, issues of heavy metal. Humanoids is printing their stuff. I know that they reprinted some of his stuff in Metal Hurlant, Kickstarter that they did. So you can find Caza, but I would love it to be more readily available here in the States because his work is so friggin' brilliant. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And check out some Caza if you can. Google him. Do whatever you can. However you can get it. You should definitely look at it, especially if you're an artist. But if you're a fan of comics, also you should check it out too. Humanoids, please, please, please reprint this shit in the States. Reprint it in English. Reprint it in Italian. Reprint it in fucking people talk. I don't care. Just fucking reprint the shit because we need it. I need Caza, more Caza in my life. And I need to know what the fuck is going on. Even though if I was reading it, I probably wouldn't understand what was going on anyways. But we are here for the art.